It's just natural to work a little harder when there is competition, right? This was reinforced for me during a trip to Park City, Utah a few years back. While taking a tour, I was reminded that the Salt Lake City area was home to the Winter Olympics in 2002. This was shared with us as our group approached the mountain that continues to be the official practice site for the American Alpine Ski Team, the aerial jumping team, and the bobsled and luge teams. Since it was summertime, the team practices there without any snow. This day, members of our party were invited to try the bottom one half of the luge run. From looking the course over, this was a scary prospect, with winding twists and turns and quite a few steep portions even along this part of the mountain. But I and 39 other people who were a part of this large group took the American team up on their offer to try the course. Team members helped people into the sleds, which had wheels for the summer runs, and pushed them off on the run. The prospect of whizzing down the course on my back on this little piece of metal at 40 plus miles per hour was daunting, to say the least. But I knew too that the outcome might be incredibly exciting. Agony of defeat and all that. Gathering information, I discovered from Scott, an American Olympic hopeful, that winning was mostly in the initial push-off. How riders distribute their weight and lean on the sled during the run matters too, but the key difference between winners and losers at the sport is in the push. I gave my wife a slightly longer than usual goodbye and headed up the mountain to join the other possibly insane thrill seekers who wanted to try the course as well. I had decided that I didn't have to be a hero. I just wanted to try the run, even if I went down at a nice and easy pace. The first person proceeded down the course, and before she began, her name was announced over a loudspeaker. American Lisa Johnson. Her pursuing screams as she descended were enough to scare me, number 33 in line. When she got to the bottom of the course, someone declared, American Lisa Johnson, 1 minute and 12 and 5/8 seconds. Every person there got their country, name, and run time called out. And from the cheers at the bottom of the course, I gathered that there were loudspeakers below as well. This meant that supportive family and friends could know who was making the run and how quickly they accomplished the task. I know I had gone into this merely wanting to try luging, but as each person in front of me had their stats announced, I got more and more excited about hearing my name and my run time announced to the world. So, how could I let it merely be an average or worse yet, bottom of the pack one? As each person's name and time were announced, I became more and more determined not only to do well, but by the time I got to the front of the line, I wanted to win. I absolutely needed to have the fastest time out of everyone who was there that day. So I remember what Scott had told me before we all headed up the mountain. The secret to winning was in the push. I approached the sled with new conviction as I was being strapped in, and I simply said to Scott, I want to win. He winked at his teammates and they knew instantly how serious I was. Giving me an incredibly forceful push-off, they exerted themselves vigorously, grunting more loudly than they had yet that afternoon. I hung on for dear life during the first few seconds, and I remember wondering if my life insurance was up to date. Then I composed myself and remembered to shift my weight as I rounded the turns. Once I started to pay attention and focus, I realized that this was one of the best, most exciting experiences I had ever had. As I went through the finish line, blaring for all to hear was Tobe, 1 minute and 2 4/5 seconds. He's reached the top speed so far today of 42 miles per hour. Excited either by the fact that I had the top score or that I had just made it in one piece, my wife hugged me as I rolled off the sled. She knows me all too well and knew that I had to stick around for the last 7 riders. I nonchalantly stuck around, making sure that no one defeated my gold medal placing. I stood alone and bit my nails as I watched the last few runs. As the last person came down, I relaxed immediately after seeing the gentle push-off the person was given. I reigned. I ruled. I don't know about you, but I'm always trying to apply my experiences to business today. The first thing that hit me was that there was only 1/8 of a second difference between first and second place. We need to decide that we are going to win and then do everything in our power to make it happen. Nobody remembers number 2. Secondly, it begins with the push. Whether you're starting a business or have been around forever, every new initiative needs the entire team engaged and pushing together. Your results are based on the initial push. And finally, sometimes we feel like we are sledding out of control. If we can just stop once in a while and focus, we can take control and win. You know, failure is not an option. It's just a nagging possibility that keeps me motivated. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in more information about me keynoting one of your future meetings or conferences, check out www.jefftobe.com. Until the next time, this is Jeff Tobe, and I'm urging you to keep coloring outside the lines.